Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Late Night Live. Tonight's brief isn't about left or right. It's not about party lines, and it's about truth, power, and kids being trafficked while grown men treat it like it's a political ammo. You want the sanitized mainstream version, man, go turn on cable news or one of these corny paid influencers. You want truth, stay right here because I'm bringing it to you. Now, the current situation, okay, we're going to talk about that first. The battlefield update, let's say, and Congress finally has gotten enough signatures, 218, to force a vote to release Epstein files within 30 days. Every Democrat signed it, and only 4 Republicans did. Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mason, Lauren Boebert. Everyone else ran for cover. Trump, instead of saying, hell yes, release every page, he did the absolute opposite. He went after Marjorie Taylor Greene, called her wacky, called her a lunatic, pulled his endorsement, threatened to back a primary challenger. Now, one can contest out of the gate that Marjorie Taylor Greene, as you can see here, has taken $0 from AIPAC. That could be one reason. But I think there's more to it, okay? And it's all because she wants the files released. Now, behind the scenes, reports say Trump's team personally pressured Boebert and Mace to pull their names off the petition. Now, take that info and set it aside because we're going to be coming back to that. Now, the emails, because we got new Epstein emails this week, and those emails had Epstein claims that Trump knew about the girls. I've already covered that the other day in the video. And it was also reported on the media that Trump knew about the girls. Okay, so it was not a secret. And just like anything in life, man, you hear scuttlebutt or Marine Corps talk for rumors. You hear this kind of stuff. You know what's going on in the world. You just do. You know, if you're in a circle, you know who's doing what and so on. Now, before anybody melts down, breathe. I'm not saying Epstein is trustworthy at all. He was a liar, a manipulator, and most importantly, a predator. But when these emails dropped, it was Trump's reaction, okay? That's the key here. A lot of people have been hitting me up saying, it's a Democrat hoax. Why are you falling for it? All this shit, da-da-da-da-da. What was Trump's reaction, right? There's a few things that I pride myself on in life, and it's because I have discernment. Whenever I see something, I immediately question, why am I being told? I've told my viewers that for years. Why am I being told this thing? Is someone trying to manipulate me, lie to me, force my beliefs, and so on? So whenever I look at this, I usually look at how someone reacts to a situation, right? Was it Trump's reaction? Was it release everything, unseal every page and clear my name, expose every predator regardless of party? No. He called it a hoax. And then he told Pam Bondi and the FBI to investigate only Democrats side Epstein. Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, and others. Not a full release.
The congresswoman was on CBS News. She was talking about how the files should be released. We anticipate that a vote will happen in the House. I know you have about the investigation today.
I don't care about it, released or not. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into.
Okay. First off, one thing. He said, I don't care about release or not. Problem for me wanting justice, especially for children who could not have justice themselves. I do care about it, released or not. I care about it being released, right? And of course, as we go on, he's not asking for a full release, not full justice.
Epstein's friends. This Reid Hoffman spent a lot of time on the island. I was never on his island. Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. You're going to have to look into his friends because, if they're going to do that, and I think.
So what you just saw was a targeted political strike. I've not heard anybody else talk about this. This is a targeted political strike, and this is going to make sense later on in the video.
To do it would be Southern District, somebody like Jay Clayton. I understand that's who's been assigned.
But does the congressman have a point, though?
That was a immediate threat is what that was, okay? Now, the pattern goes back years because this isn't new for Trump. Trump's entire Epstein strategy going back to 2016 has been the same pattern. Drop hints, apply pressure, use Epstein as a threat against opponents. He's never mentioned full transparency. Even when asked directly right before he was elected, he said, I may, but it may hurt some innocent people. And people get mad about this. Listen, I was not friends with Jeffrey Epstein. I never met the man. I didn't hang out with him. Okay. I'd be more pissed off at people that were his friends. Okay. Number one, that hung out with him, had dinners with him. Don't blame me for telling you the facts. Okay. I was not Epstein's friend. Okay. I didn't hang out with him, never met the guy. But now go back to 2015.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute...
Now, he brings up Prince Andrew because Prince Andrew is not a political opponent. He's not running for office, but he's mentioning that as a strike, okay?
Absolute cesspool. So,
the Clintons are friends
and he's
of
been
yours,
there
right?
for many times.
The Clintons are friends.
Well, I can't say friends, but I know
You're
them.
friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to...
He said he wasn't friends. Well, this paints a largely different picture, doesn't it? And obviously, we got good old pals here.
Are you saying there's a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem.
It could be a political problem. You have to understand what the language the man is using.
Look, he could be a political problem. Right now, he's Teflon, and right now, maybe not. But he could end up being a political problem.
He's sending a round down range. Okay. People forget. During the 2016 campaign, Trump publicly said that Epstein Island stuff could be a huge problem for Hillary, right? Not because he wanted to expose the whole network, because it was a strategic leverage point. You fast forward to today, the email drops, okay? Every time it's brought up something about Epstein, it immediately goes back to dropping these names, Larry Summers, this and that. Congress is pushing for unredacted files, and instead of embracing it, Trump is trying to control it, attacking the very people trying to bring the truth out. The theory that they don't want you thinking about. This is my theory, okay? And you can take it or leave it. Trump doesn't want the Epstein files released because they stop being leveraged when the public sees them, okay? A lot of people say that Trump is involved in this. I don't personally believe that. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure because I don't know. I never met Donald Trump either. So I can't say that he was involved in that. I don't believe it. But as you go back to 2016, it is a leverage point. He's running against Hillary. He says, hey, this could be a problem, right? He's saying now in the Air Force One a few days ago, oh, we may need to investigate Larry Summers and so on. Why? Because these are power players in the game. They go tell, he's sending a warning shot over the bow. Go tell your people in your party, because they're the ones with power, these billionaires, okay? Bill Clinton and these billionaires. Go tell the people in your party to back off. Back off right now, or I'm going to drop Jay Clayton on them. This is how power works in D.C. Information is currency. Secrets are bargaining chips. And compromat is how you control everyone in the room. If Epstein files get fully released, every political bargaining chip evaporates. Every threat disappears. Every private conversation becomes public. And the elites left and right lose their safety net. So instead of justice, what we get is this. Investigate the Democrats, but don't release everything. Attack the Republicans calling for transparency. Keep the leverage and lose the accountability. That is not justice. That is not draining the swamp. And if we go into what's talking about draining the swamp and holding the swamp hostage, Trump is backing Lindsey Graham, Lindsey Graham post. This was yesterday. What a great day playing golf with the president. So much fun today at the Trump-Graham Golf Classic that will benefit the Republican cause greatly. President Donald Trump was very generous with his time, and I appreciate all who made this highly successful. Thank you, Mr. President. Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I had Mark Lynch on the show, who's battling out against Lindsey Graham a few days ago, and we were talking about this score here. Lindsey Graham has an F, 43% Liberty score. Marjorie Taylor Greene has an A, 100%. But we're now backing Lindsey Graham, who has an F in conservative values, the Liberty score, and saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a wacky rhino and that Lindsey Graham is MAGA. No.
So Massie has gotten in a fight, like a personal fight with the president. And unfortunately, I think it has gotten personal. I should say I don't agree with Massie's more libertarian than I am. But of all the members other than you of the Congress that I know a lot of them, he's the most principled. He's also a thoroughly decent man, like actually. And his personal life, and I know a lot about it, is like one of the most impressive things I've ever heard. He is self-reliant in the most American sense. This is a guy who lives off-grid in a house he built himself, and every one of his votes is a vote on principle. So I don't know how you couldn't admire a guy like that. I get that he annoys the president personally, got it. But I don't think there are many people in the country who live out Donald Trump's own stated principles more precisely than Thomas Massie does. What the hell is going on that he is a target, but Lindsey Graham has an endorsement? And by the way, I just want to say clearly, I will do everything I can to make sure Lindsey Graham is not reelected. Not because I like Lindsey Graham personally, he's a super charming, nice guy. But if Lindsey Graham continues to get elected, then the whole MAGA thing is totally fake. It's just fake. So, like,
agreed. In this type of leverage, if you don't play ball with the trafficking ring, that's the swamp holding you hostage. Okay. Now, I'm going to play a clip, Thomas Massie discussing it real quick.
I mean, attacking you over and over again, even attacking you for regarding your wedding, your recent wedding, which, by the way, congratulations. What do you make of all that? And he's obviously supporting your primary opponents. I mean, what kind of retribution are you facing?
You know, my wife told me, she said, "I told you so. We should have invited Donald Trump. He's mad that he didn't get an invitation." So we're taking it with a grain of salt. He's being a bully or trying to be a bully. And they're trying to beat me here in Kentucky. But here's what's interesting. The people financing this campaign consist completely of 3 billionaires, and they're all in the Epstein class. In fact, one of them is named in Epstein's phone book, not the secret files that the FBI is keeping, but in Epstein's phone book. So it's a small world, parked cars, and we are winning. I'm not tired of winning yet, but we are winning. And not only the speaker, but the attorney general, the FBI director, and the president himself and the vice president, they're taking a big loss this week because after months of fighting, I am winning this week with Ro Khanna. We're forcing this vote, and it's going to happen. I would remind my Republican colleagues who are deciding how to vote, Donald Trump can protect you in red districts right now by giving you an endorsement, but in 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, and the president can't protect you then. This vote, the record of this vote, will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
Yeah, I think, Massie hadn't taken any money from AIPAC either, but Massie's a man of principles and so on. Now, again, what I'm getting to is I believe that Donald Trump has sent a warning shot across the bow multiple times, because the more they bring this up, the more he says, I'm going to target the power players of the game, right? This is a strategic move and smart move if you want to shut people up, but it is not justice. Okay. It's not justice.
Does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a point?
Does she have a point?
I know nothing about her.
What is the piece of all the
Well,
files?
they can have whatever they want. They already do. I think they have 50,000 pages already. Look, this is a Democrat.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman,
is a Democrat hoax. It's not a hoax. I mean, maybe it's a hoax because Democrats hadn't cared about it. You're right. I get with that. Democrats did not care about under Biden. I get that. Who thought they would? But when am I letting Democrats lead my decision making? Just because they didn't doesn't mean that I don't want them released. This is where I stand, and this is where I've been getting a lot of hate lately. I'll take a second just to tell my own viewers, address it for a second, because I've been getting heat, been called a traitor, saying I'm helping the left, saying I'm attacking Trump just because the media wants me to. Let me say this clearly, slowly, and on camera. I am not on Team Trump. I am not on Team Republican. I am not on Team Democrat. I am on Team Kids Don't Get Trafficked and Use as blackmail material. That's the team I'm on. I figured it out. I thought I was a conservative, and I voted for Trump 5 times. But what I'm on is I'm on the team of kids don't get trafficked and people don't get held accountable, period. My principles are simple. Wood chippers were made for these kind of people who hurt children. If you protect those people, and I don't care who your savior is, if you use their crimes as leverage, if you weaponize these files for political gain instead of demanding justice, I don't ride with you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what office you held, and I don't care who you voted for. I don't care how many times I agree with you on everything else. If you treat child trafficking as a chess piece, you're part of the problem. And let me put this through my actual worldview. I'm a constitutional guy. I'm a Christian, and I'm most importantly a father. My loyalties are God, my kids, and the truth. Everything else is a distant fourth place. The Bible says to expose darkness, not manipulate it, not weaponize it. Expose it. The Constitution says the government answers to the people, not the other way around. And as a father, the idea of our political class is fighting each other for control over blackmail files involving kids makes me pissed off to no end. This isn't political for me, man. This is moral. This is spiritual. This is human. If your loyalty is to a politician instead of the truth, you don't have convictions. You're part of a freaking fan club. That's what you are. You're part of a fan club. You're a sheep and you're a follower. You'll be led off to the cattle trailers, right? Here's what I want. 1, full release of the Epstein files. No grandstanding, no redactions for elites, only victims' names protected. 2, independent prosecution with real teeth. 3, no political shields. I don't care if the names are Clinton, Trump, Bush, Obama, Gates, or whoever. Justice is justice. 4, for my viewers, stop worshiping men. Start standing on principles. Because men die, principles don't. Now, look, I know episodes like this cost me subscribers. I know it gets me demonetized, and I know it gets me hate. But if I'm going to sit on this camera every night and talk about truth, integrity, and protecting children, I'm not going to turn a blind eye because a politician on our side says it's a hoax. I'm not here to make idols out of men. I'm here to tell the truth with the intel on the table and let you decide where the line is. I'm not telling you to follow what I say. I'm just a man like you. But if that means fewer viewers, so be it. If you're still here, then you're here because you stand for the same thing. You stand for justice, truth, and a future where children aren't used as currency by people who run this country. Stay frosty, stay strapped, and stay dangerous. I'll see you on the next one. Black Scout, out.